You ever wonder why relationships are feeling harder than they used to? How single comments can stick to us, and single comments from a friend can suddenly feel like a deal breaker. Family member, you're not alone. We as a culture are becoming increasingly brittle around the ways that we interact and experience friction with one another. What used to be a way of bringing us to the table to discuss is rules for estrangement now. You're not alone. This is a cultural problem where we're being taught to consume connection instead of cultivate it. If that resonates with you, hit that subscribe button. Join this community here at Rewire. What we're doing is diving into what it takes to build meaningful, lasting relationships and live the good life. I'm Dr. Andrew Smith. I'm the founder of Rewire. I'm a clinical psychologist, and I've spent my entire career studying what actually makes relationships thrive. Our whole mission at Rewire is to help people reconnect with others through purpose and grounding themselves in values based living. You can check out more at rewirewellness.co. There's a link in the description. So let me jump into the roadmap for today. The whole thing that we're talking about today is how to shift from a consumer's mindset to a cultivator's mindset, which I think we need in our culture, and you certainly in your own life need. So let me lay out the roadmap for what I'll talk about today. I'm going to be talking about 5 points. Number 1, why effortless relationships are a myth and a bad idea. Number 2, what it means to think like a cultivator instead of a consumer. Number 3, we're going to ground it in a real life story that brings us to life. Number 4, what's making connection feel harder today? And number 5, how to shift your mindset to build deeper, more resilient connection, to build towards this cultivator's mindset. Okay, let's jump right in. Part 1. We all want connection that just clicks. No tension, no effort, just chemistry and comfort. But the truth is, the relationships that last, they're not effortless. They're intentional. It's actually really good for me to have friction in my relationship with my wife, for example. It's good that she doesn't agree with my every whim or idea. I need to work those ideas out through my relationship with my wife. And it's the same with friendships. To be surrounded by only people that think like us and don't produce challenge or friction in our lives lead us thinking in really rigid and stuck ways. Relationships are like gardens. They need tending, not just when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Friction, lack of ease in relationships, it's a signal for something to work on or work through. And you don't get to lasting connection by just hoping it's going to happen to you. You get it by intentionally growing it. Hence, cultivator's mindset. So, part 2, cultivator versus consumer mindset. Imagine a farmer just standing in the field waiting for crops to plant themselves. Sounds absurd, right? But that's how many of us treat our relationships. We wait for connection to grow without showing up to till the soil. And the frictionlessness of technologies in our life make us less and less tolerant and resilient and more brittle when it comes to having to cultivate and put effort in. The cultivator's mindset says this: I'm not here to passively receive, I'm here to actively grow. It's about noticing what your relationship needs and being willing to put the work in, even when it's not convenient and not fun. Part 3, let's ground this in a story around Eric and Marcus's friendship. Let's bring it down to earth. Eric and Marcus, they're best friends growing up, road trips, late night talks, the whole deal. Life takes them in different directions, though. Eric moves across the country. Marcus starts a family. Marcus becomes more politically conservative. Eric moves in a more progressive direction. Slowly, their conversations thin. Not really because of overt conflict, just distance, difference, and some doubts that start to creep in. Eric starts to wonder, are we still the same friends we used to be? But then he remembers Marcus wasn't just a parenting choice or a political opinion. He was actually loyalty and years of history. So Eric decided, based on his own values, to lean in, not to fix something, but to recultivate a relationship that matters. And something beautiful happened. The friendship doesn't just go back to the way it was. It becomes something deeper, more rooted in choice than circumstance. That's cultivation. Here's also cultivation: pursuing my wife every day with actions that align with my values, no matter how her day is going up or down, pursuing a teenager through the misery of his or her indifference, showing up for a parent when they need help after a knee replacement, even if it's stressful or tense. Not choosing the consumer's mindset, but cultivating not only the soil of that relationship, but through that, the soil of your own heart. Part four. If it feels like connection takes more work these days, it's because it does. Culturally, we're out of practice. We're living in echo chambers. We're scrolling more and we're talking less. We're conditioned to disengage fast. We're not leaning in with curiosity or grace. We're in this age of estrangement where that's being used by therapists as this language for boundaries and self care, when what it actually does to folks is commits a mortal wound that comes back to bite us years later. The attention economy, it thrives on drama and disconnection. But relationships, they thrive on presence, patience, forgiveness, showing up, listening. That's why this shift from consumer to cultivator is important, more so now than ever. Part five, cultivator's mindset in every relationship. This isn't just about friendship. In marriage, it means asking, what does this relationship need right now and how can I show up for it? Rather than, what can I extract out of this? I'm not happy right now, so there must be something wrong. And that thing that must be wrong must be the other person making me unhappy. It's not really a pathway towards redemption in that relationship. And to flip that towards a cultivator's mindset, what can I do right now? How can I show up and bring something to my marriage? In parenting, it's showing up with patience even when your child isn't meeting you halfway, because that's who you aspire to be as a parent. With aging parents, it's offering grace and continuing to build bridges, even when old wounds or differences get in the way. At work, it means building culture, not just consuming it, investing in psychological safety, not waiting for perfect dynamics. Every relationship becomes richer when we choose to cultivate rather than consume. I'll finish by saying at Rewire, we want to teach you to move from reaction to values, to stop asking, how do I get this person to change? And start asking, who do I want to be in this relationship? I want to say that again. We're shifting from the question, how do I get this person to change, to act right? And start asking, who do I want to be in the world and in this relationship? Because that's where the real satisfaction and empowerment comes from. Knowing that you're living in alignment with what matters most to you. You might not control how other people show up, but you always choose how you do. So let me leave you with a few questions to reflect on. Where have I been hoping for connection instead of cultivating it? Who have I been drifting from, not out of harm, but out of habit? What's one small thing I could do this week to tend to a relationship that I care about? In the end, the most meaningful relationships aren't the ones we stumble into, they're the ones we choose to grow. And I want to challenge you to be a cultivator. The world needs more of them. It'll change your heart and your life too in the process. You'll be more aligned with yourself internally. It's a magnetic way to live. So if this resonates with you, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to check out the link in the description for more at rewirewellness.co. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time. Keep cultivating.